Welcome back to the channel. My name is Orlando, and we got some big news, guys. We got some big news. The government is coming out and saying, you know what? We're going to try to stop this crash. And they're coming up with an idea to basically stop foreclosures by proposing a ban on foreclosures until 2022. So let's jump into it. So an article came out through the New York Times that basically said the government is trying to propose a new idea where it would stop mortgage servicers from even attempting to do foreclosures. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so it says a wave of foreclosures and evictions threaten to arrive when pandemic-related pauses expire later this year, and a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is considering restrictions on mortgage servicers that would spread the hit into 2022. More than 3 million guys. 3 million households are behind on their mortgage payments, and nearly 1.7 million will run out of their forbearance periods in September, according to the Bureau. Guys, come on. So what does this mean? Does this mean that the market crash that I've been talking about is just not going to happen and everything is just going to be just great, everything's just so great. I don't have to worry about properties dropping down in value anymore. I don't have to worry about any of this crash talk in the real estate market, in the housing market. Is that what this article is saying? I don't know. To me, it sounds like they're just kicking the can down the road.
Kick the can down the road.
Because you have to look at it, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Why would the government come in and say, you know what, guys? We're gonna ban foreclosures until 2022. Is there a reason why they're doing that? I don't know. Maybe there is a reason why they are deciding to put a ban on it. I don't know. 3 million households are behind on their mortgage. 1.7 million are coming up on a forbearance where they'll have to pay back all of the time that they were in forbearance. Maybe that's the reason. But let's continue on. It says, we are at a really unusual point in history. I don't think anybody has ever seen this many mortgages in forbearance at one time that are expected to exit at one time. You got 1.7 million people who are going to have to come back and pay, between 6 months to 12 months of back payments, guys. And do we think for 1 second, if you went into forbearance, that the person probably had the money to begin with? No, they didn't have the money to begin with. That's the whole reason they went into forbearance. So now you're going to say to these people, these 1.7 million people, hey, all of those 6 months, all of those 12 months that you took in forbearance, come on, it's time to pay up. They didn't have it to begin with, and the banks know it. And then the article goes on to say, the agencies propose a new rule that would prevent servicers from starting foreclosure proceedings until after December 31st. The intent, for the Bureau official said, is to give borrowers coming off forbearance time to consider their options, such as whether they'll need mortgage modification to reduce their monthly payments. The restrictions would apply only to mortgages on homes used as primary residence. So once again, like I was saying, they're trying to give people time to talk to banks to say, hey, can I do a workout? Can I do a modification on my loan? What that means is you work out with your bank that you have your mortgage with to say to take those months and then to put them in the back of the loan. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about is when you do that, you still have to go through the process as if you were refinancing. So that means you still have to be credit worthy. You still have to show the bank that you can make the payments. They have to see, just like how you got into the loan, when you do a mortgage modification, you have to do the exact same thing. Now, some of the credit requirements may be a little bit lower. Maybe the income, debt to income may be a little bit different, but you still have to go through that entire process. And a lot of people don't really talk about that. You think that mortgage modification is going to, just happen. You just sign a piece of paper that says, hey, take all of my payments that I was in forbearance and just put that on the back end, and it's just that easy. It's not, guys. I promise you. So that's what this law that they're trying to pass is trying to give people individuals, but it's still, to me, kicking the can down the road. Yeah, you can protect, people who were in this, who are going to run into trouble that may go into foreclosure, but you heard it. They're stopping banks from doing foreclosures up until the last day of this year. And then it goes on to say the agency also proposes a rule change that would allow servicers to extend loan modification offers to borrowers experiencing a COVID-related hardship without undertaking the full review normally required to adjust a mortgage. The intention is to let lenders quickly offer borrowers more affordable terms, so long as the change does not increase the borrower's monthly payments or extend the loan's term by more than 40 years. But see, here is the thing about this, guys. If you just read the wording, if you look at the wording here, it says the agency also proposes a rule change that would allow servicers. The key word in this is would allow, meaning that a bank has to say, you know what, I'm going to make this a lot easier and allow individuals to not go under the underwriting process. I could promise you banks will not take up on that offer. In this, it actually is saying that it is an option for a bank to do that. And I've seen it so many times and dealt with so many banks. They will not. If it comes to underwriting, they're going to underwrite you fully. They're not going to, make it easy on you to modify a loan that's in your best interest. It's just not going to happen that way. And I promise you, it won't be that easy. But it does say it's going to allow servicers and more in banks to do this. Some banks may do this, some banks won't. But here's the thing. You may get stuck with a bank that doesn't allow you to do it. And you can't all of a suddenly jump to a bank that does do this. You have to stick with who you got the forbearance with. So if you're with Wells Fargo and Wells Fargo doesn't want to offer that easy underwriting, you're just out of luck. You may have done a loan with a small community bank and they do, but this actual law does not say we will force banks to do that. And I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. But then it also continues on to say, Consumer Bureau is seeking public comment on its proposal, a required step in the rulemaking process that will allow the industry groups a chance to raise concerns about changes. It says the Mortgage Bankers Association and Housing Industry Trade Group did not comment directly. Basically, what they're saying is that we want to get comments from lobbyists and all these other people who have interest in making sure that if you can't make your payments, that we can get our collateral, which is the house that you're living in and blah, 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 right? That's basically what that is saying, guys. So, these rules that are coming up, and if this was something that is actually going to come true, it's going to be really tough trying to hold down the banks and make them follow something that is an option, right? And we have all seen, if you don't force the banks to do it, they won't do it. They're going to do what is in the interest of the bank. And the interest of the bank is that if you can't make the payments, and if they're not getting their payments like how they make their money, then the chances of you getting foreclosed on is pretty high, right? It's pretty high. So I hope this content was valuable, and I just want to keep you guys up to date on everything going on with this housing market, and it's hot, cold, and whatnot. And I also want to get you into your first rental property. So I need you to watch this video, watch this next video, so that you can get into your first rental property and keep up to date on this housing market. I'll see you guys in the next time. Thanks.